Ladies and gentlemen, this is host, Rapstar Boxing, knowledge in the building. Hey, I'm just coming with a quick live, and I'm just going to run it down with what I saw yesterday with Deontay Wilder. Now, everybody's seen Deontay Wilder, he's coming back. Deontay Wilder's showing that he's got the energy, coming like Hercules, coming like Hulk. And everybody saw he's doing his weight, pushing his 300 pounds, and he's saying he's ready to roll over Tyson Fury like a steam train. Now, what do you think about this? Now, I'm just going to run it down quickly, and I'm not going to be here for long. But look, Deontay Wilder, he wants this rematch. He's coming back vocal now. Everybody saw in the press conference how mute he was. He wasn't talking. He wasn't giving any mental conversations to Tyson Fury. But now, while he's on his own, he's putting up some videos showing that he's ready for this rematch. Now, is he really ready for this rematch? Is Deontay Wilder going to show everybody in the world that he is the man who's going to come back to show Tyson Fury that he is the bronze bomber? But look, at the end of the day, we understand that Tyson Fury has got the more superior skills. So Deontay Wilder does he only have that one punch knockout power? I mean, what else is he going to bring to the table? I mean, I see so many people out here. Oh, Deontay Wilder, he's with Malik Scott. He's working on his jab. He's working on his feet. He's working on his combinations. But as far as I'm concerned, Deontay Wilder, when he goes in the ring, the bronze bomber's always fought one way. He's only had that one arsenal about himself of a knockout power. He's got the one punch knockout power. Now, is Deontay Wilder able to learn or bring something else to the table? Is he able to show people that he can learn something at 35 years old? Look, I've seen a lot of the people in America, and I've seen a lot of these American media channels. And we just got to keep it real, and we do need to keep it fucking honest. Yeah? At the end of the day, we understand that Deontay Wilder is promoting the fight. You got to remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember this. Deontay Wilder is more clever than you fucking think he is. He's going to get paid multi-millions for this rematch. For the trilogy, it's going to be a major event now. Now, we all know we never got the undisputed fight. We never got that fucking fight. The biggest fight that the fans ever wanted in the world was the undisputed fight with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. But after the arbitration, and we saw the Deontay Wilder fanboys, they were all celebrating, drinking, enjoying themselves. We saw it. We see the fucking fans are not in it for boxing. This is a new movement today. Today's boxing fans do not give a fuck about legacy. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen, what Rapstar is telling you. Today's boxing fans do not give a fuck about legacy. And it's unfortunate that when I see all these American channels and American fans, which are trying to just be there for their fighter, but they don't give a fuck about the sport of boxing. We've come to a stage in the sport of boxing that the fans today are like fanboys who just give a fuck about the money that they earn. They only give a fuck about the bank accounts for the fighters, and they give a fuck about their fighters' well-being and how their fighters are moving and talking. When have we ever been in this sport, ladies and gentlemen? When have you ever seen fans worried about bank accounts, worried about the fighter getting their fight, but they're not worried about the biggest legacy fight in the world? And we've seen that Deontay Wilder has been moving in a direction where, if you ask me, is he fooling his fans? Is he actually understand that he's in control of those fanboys? You know what I mean? Now, those fanboys which create all that energy for Deontay Wilder, and Deontay Wilder goes there and blesses them with all these chats that he has with them every week, and he goes on these channels, but he doesn't want to say nothing to Tyson Fury when he sees Tyson Fury face to face. This is the same man that we cannot deny that did bring up all the excuses, that did bring up many different just ways of escaping from reality. They don't want to talk about reality, but I hope that Deontay Wilder is more clever and more smarter than his fanboys. I hope Deontay Wilder understands that what he's coming back with in the trilogy, he cannot just rely on that one-punch power. It's not going to work. Tyson Fury, listen to what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. If you think Malik Scott is going to be Deontay Wilder's savior, well, I'm telling you right now, Malik Scott is not bringing much more to the table than Mark Breland. Mark Breland has way more education and way more foundation than any other trainer when it comes to boxing. So if Malik Scott can get into Deontay Wilder's head, what can he teach him that he hasn't learned already? Now, we already know that Deontay Wilder didn't want to choose to skip. We know that Deontay Wilder wasn't doing all that training. He wasn't trying to do, he wasn't running, he wasn't doing the road work. But if Malik Scott can push him and bring him to the place that he needs to be physically, then how come anybody else could not do it? And far as I'm concerned, where's his other fucking fanboy gone? Where's JD's? Where's that motherfucking JD's gone? All of a sudden, we can't see JD's, the mascot of Deontay Wilder. But look at this. We saw Deontay Wilder yesterday coming, showing people that he's got the strength and he can come push 300 pounds, and he's saying to people that I'm going to steamroll through Tyson Fury. So in other words, he's going to come forward. He's saying that he's going to come forward and try and push Tyson Fury back. And he's obviously going to leave himself open. Now, do you think Sugar Hill doesn't have a game plan for a Deontay Wilder? A Tyson Fury, which has Deontay Wilder's number, going into the trilogy, the only thing I'm worried about, ladies and gentlemen, is if Deontay Wilder loses again, how the fuck are they all going to react? How the fuck is Deontay Wilder going to be able to take a loss against Tyson Fury? Because we saw last time Deontay Wilder went into cuckoo land. Deontay Wilder become from a twerkulator, became a cuckoo land, with the dent in his head, with the costume, with the water, with the referee, with the egg weights, down to fucking everything. It just never stopped. Now, we also know that if he lies to himself going into this trilogy, that's the worst thing can a man do, is lie to himself. If he be honest with himself and he understands that he ain't a better boxer, then he's got to go in for a knockout. As long as he understands that he is got to be real to himself, be true to himself, then he might have a chance. Because we cannot, ladies and gentlemen, eliminate the power of Deontay the Bronze Bomber. Deontay Wilder does have the one-punch knockout power. We all know that. But against who? That's another question. When he stepped up, he got fucked up. When he stepped up to the plate, he did get exposed in that second fight. In the first fight, Tyson Fury came out of nowhere. After 300, he was over 400 pounds, and he was trying to get himself to weight cut. There was no training for anything else but weight cut. And he had those couple quick turnaround fights and went straight into a Deontay Wilder fight. And everybody had Deontay Wilder winning. This is the man. This is the warrior. He's the one-punch knockout artist, the hardest puncher in history. Well, the hardest puncher got fucked up. And I'll tell you something. Did that fucking dent the fucking ego of Deontay Wilder? Did that destroy the ego of Deontay Wilder? It did. It took his confidence. It took him away. And let's all remember this. After that second fight, when Tyson Fury beat the fuck out of him, when he stopped him, when he actually demolished this man, they were hugging it out. Let's remember that. Deontay Wilder was a humble man, and he was kissing and hugging Tyson Fury. Let's not forget that. He was just, afterwards, people put things in Deontay Wilder's ear. Maybe there was a way that he knew that he had to come out of that myth in himself to prove that he didn't lose, well, he went into that Hollywood film. And he went into this fucking zone of trying to be a Hollywood actor. And it didn't suit him. The man which was a warrior who wants to fight for his people, which says that he only fights for his people, which is another contradiction in itself. Because Deontay Wilder has fans all over the world. We have fans all over the world. But by him eliminating himself, saying that he only wants to fight for himself and his people, that's another contradiction that we can also touch on a later show. But let me just say this. Is Deontay Wilder really ready for the trilogy? Is Deontay Wilder going to shock the world again, ladies and gentlemen? Is he going to do it? Or is he just going to make this money, take this money, and go into La La Land? I'm just going to look at the chat for a minute. I'm not here for long. It's your boy Rapstar. So let's see who's in the building. And I just came just doing this live out of nowhere. We got Dimitar in the building. We got Joni Blaze. We got Bruce Goes in the building. Yes, Bruce. We've got Carlos Mendoza in the building. Carlos, what's going on, bro? I ain't seen you for a while, mate. We got Mark the Knife. I ain't seen you for a bit, Mark. How you doing, bruv? Yeah, do you think Deontay Wilder is really coming with the right mindset for the trilogy, or is he just lying to himself? Because for me, there's been a lot of contradiction, and we've seen when he saw Tyson Fury's face, he did not want to get into no verbal mental battle with the Gypsy, the King Fury. Yeah, so look, give me a second, guys. We got Gerald Fields in the building. Carlos Mendoza says, bench pressing is Wilder's competing for Mr. Olympia. Does he even know he has a fight next month? Can't he be skipping leg day? He can't be skipping leg day, exactly. He's gonna have to train like a mental warrior. He's gonna have to train like a samurai. Deontay Wilder needs to stop making videos. Deontay Wilder is so worried about his fanboys, his presence, his brand, more than actually realizing that he needs to win this fight. Because I'm telling you this, ladies and gentlemen, in the history of the sport, I have never seen as many delusional fanboys that Deontay Wilder is controlling a movement, like he is a part of a cult, like this is a part of boxing that I never thought I'd see. You know, when you get these people which are like, I don't know how to tell you, but like, you get these people which are cult, which they follow a movement, whether they roll what, it doesn't matter. That's the leader, that's the king. So even if he twerks around, or he talks a lot of bullshit, or he does anything fucking stupid, it doesn't matter. That's their king. So whatever he does, they're always going to find a way to make him look good. But Deontay Wilder himself should not play on that. He should not give a fuck. Look, I love the YTBC. I like YouTube. I like what we do for boxing. But he needs to forget about all that. Appearing on channels, trying to, preach for the people, preach for what he's trying to preach, showing that he only wants to fight for his people. He does not give a fuck about other people. So why the fuck should we give a fuck about him? If he doesn't give a fuck about us, he only gives a fuck about his minority people in America, which is the people that he supports. He says he doesn't give a fuck about anybody else. But let's be honest. Let's keep it logical. Is Deontay Wilder really right in his mindset? Because I really hope he is. Does he really believe that he can beat this man, Tyson Fury? Because he's hyping it up. He's talking like he don't give a fuck. He's talking like the second fight never happened. So if he believes all that, then he must believe that there's some cheating then. And if he believes that there's some cheating, does that make him feel stronger? Because just the other day, he said he's got no evidence. So how much can they contradict? How much can Deontay Wilder keep contradicting himself? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the man does bounce around and he does flip-flop. Let's not lie. Let's keep it honest and let's keep it logical. Your American king, your American bronze bomber, mate, he's a flip-flopper. He's not a perfect man. He's a man who walked away for Anthony Joshua's fight. He lied about the Anthony Joshua fight. He made a premeditated video about Tyson Fury with some Chinese music going behind him. Who forgot that video when he said that he's got a dent in his head? It's no point. Then he said he's a victim. He said he's a victim, that the white supremacy, the white people in this world made him lose this fight. It gets worse and worse and worse. You saw what people are saying these days. You see what Jamal Charlo said. Jamal Charlo said, Mr. Cunningham, the trainer, says, I spoke to many trainers in America, and they actually think Deontay Wilder just can't take a loss. And he needs to, hopefully he's come out of that mindset. Hopefully he's taking it out on weights. Hopefully he takes it out on bench pressing, and he gets rid of those demons. Because that's what he needs to do, ladies and gentlemen. He needs to get rid of those demons which have held him back, which have slowed him down, and which are mentally, actually, if you ask me, mentally has actually, I don't want to say it, but I think it has mentally affected him. I said it. Rapstar has said it. I think Deontay Wilder got mentally affected by a loss. And I'll still say it right now. Deontay Wilder has not recovered. He has not fucking recovered. He's not acting like the Deontay Wilder we ever knew. He's acting like he's a new character. He's acting like this guy, when he came with his headphones on the press conference, he changed his fucking energy. So this is a man, either he's premeditating his script, and he knows what to tell the fans, and he knows how to keep those fanboys bubbling, but I don't think that's a good strategy if he doesn't come openly and understands, humbles himself to say he really lost that fight. Let's have a look who's in the building. Yo, we got Shadow Ghost in the building. Shadow Ghost, everybody go support Shadow Ghost. Emotional ass men acting like women. Talking about matchmaking and money and degrading legacy. Exactly. Shadow Ghost, I'm coming live later. This is going to be another thing that I want to talk about. That not just Deontay Wilder, ladies and gentlemen, to everybody around the world, this is happening a lot in America. It is. This is an American cult. I've got to keep it real. I love my American brothers and sisters, but the minority Americans are gone cuckoo. They are cuckoo. They are more interested in Tank Davis. This is what they're saying about Tank Davis now, ladies and gentlemen. That Tank Davis is a pay-per-view star. Tank Davis is with Floyd Mayweather. These are grown men with channels and responsibilities. And these are the men who are saying today in boxing that Tank Davis, this is what they're saying about Tank Davis now. This is another movement going on. That Tank Davis is a pay-per-view star. He doesn't need to fight anybody else. And this man is their superhero. When the fuck have you ever been in boxing and you've heard all these fans? I've got all the receipts. I've got all the receipts that when fans are more interested in Tank Davis's bank account, pay-per-view, and the way that he is, they're interested in Tank Davis being that way. They don't give a fuck about the other fights. These are the same channels that are following and supporting Leonard Ellaby, saying that Josh Taylor doesn't bring nothing to the table. Teofimo Lopez don't bring nothing to the table. What the fuck am I hearing? This is crazy. I have never ever seen fans like I'm seeing today. It's a shame. I'm really sorry, ladies and gentlemen. When you're a boxer and you're a fan for a boxer, you want them to become a legacy. You want them to fight for their name. You want them to fight those fighters that everybody else wants to see, but not in today's climax. In today's world, it's not about that anymore. It's gone sad. There is a fan base now that want to see their fighters' bank accounts. They want to see their fighters make a lot of money, and they want to see their fighters not fight the fights that are fit for their fighter. I have never seen this kind of a fan base in my sport, but I can see this generally. The Wilder fanboys is rubbing off on these fanboys now, on Tank Davis. So look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be cooking later. Let's remember this. The fanboys of today are discredit for the sport. This is rubbing off for Tank Davis now. Now they're trying to protect Tank Davis. I'm going to be cooking this, and I am going to send a link for the panel. Remember what I said, that Tank Davis fanboys, remember this, are a new movement to boxing, trying to protect him to make the biggest fight. They are embracing his bank account. They're embracing him being a pay-per-view star. But let me give you some receipts, ladies and gentlemen. Tank Davis is not a pay-per-view star. His biggest pay-per-view was 200,000, and that was with Leo Santa Cruz. But because they said, oh, and that's not a star. Pay-per-view star does over a million fucking pay-per-views. Who are you trying to fool? You're trying to fool the casuals here, my friend. He's not a pay-per-view star. But because they got him on pay-per-view, oh, Teofimo Lopez is not pay-per-view. This is what they're saying now. Oh, Josh Taylor is not a pay-per-view. Devin Haney's not pay-per-view. Tank Davis is the best out of everybody. He's a pay-per-view. Well, let me give you something to talk about now. Just because Mayweather's got him as a pay-per-view does not mean he's a fucking legacy fighter, that he's got better legacy than those fighters. Those fighters are chasing legacy. So when it's all said and done, nobody gives a fuck about fighters' bank accounts. You guys need to go to another fucking sport. Go find a fucking sport where you're more interested in a fighter's bank account. I'm going to be exposing this. I'm going to be showing people the fan base of today. And I'm talking real fans, grown men, men over 35, 40, grown fucking men with channels and responsibilities are talking shit. They don't know shit about boxing. They're just trying to create a movement, and they want to be it. Listen to me carefully, ladies and gentlemen. As crazy as this sounds, like the Wilder fanboys, we understand that they are fucking delusional. But the Tank Davis fanboys, they're delusional too now. I'm calling it out. Rapstar is telling everybody the Tank Davis fanboys are acting like they're more interested in Tank Davis being a pay-per-view star. Oh, the rest of them are not pay-per-view. We don't give a fuck. Tank Davis is the guy. Well, I'm going to give you some receipts. And I'm going to bring those receipts out. That you guys are talking not just so much shit, but the Leonard Ellaby curse is going on to people. It's like people believe shit like that. And I can't believe that today's fanboys are the sad fanboys that they don't want no legacy. They don't want big fights. They're in boxing to try and discredit the sport and try and take away from the fighters who have done everything for our sport. This is a bad curse for our sport. I'm going to let you know now that the kind of movement that I've seen in boxing today is bad for boxing. That's why you got MMA fans, they laugh at boxing. You got MMA fans that laugh at fans' lives. Because in UFC, everybody fights each other. In boxing, everybody needs to fight each other. Not fucking worry about the bank accounts. Stop worrying about your fight as a pay-per-view star. Because he ain't even a pay-per-view star. And even if he's got a pay-per-view model, does not mean he doesn't fight somebody serious so that everybody's interested in the fight. I mean, we already know Mayweather said that he's not interested in putting Tank Davis away from his own stable. He wants to keep it all in the PBC. This is a whole new movement in boxing, and people are actually supporting it. You know what the worst thing is? People are supporting these movements. We have fans in our sport today which support these kind of movements. They're protecting their fighters from legacy. They're more interested in bank accounts for their fighters. Hey, my fighter earns more money than your fighter. Oh man, this is ridiculous. Can you imagine having a debate with these kind of people that their fighter earns more money than that fighter? Oh my God, man. I never thought I'd be hearing this shit in my sport. But today, here we are. And I'm glad it's a minority fan base in America who love their fighters that much. They're so delusional that they actually are here for the whole wrong reasons of being in boxing. But before I go, we got Neil Simpson in the building. Neil Simpson, how you doing, bruv? We got Brandon White in the building. We got MMA Sucks. We got Johnny Blaze in the building. Look, man, it is what it is. At the end of the day, the fan base of today are the fans which are protecting their fucking fighters. It's like they're protecting them in protective custody. They're protecting their fucking fighters. Can you listen to what I'm saying? The fans are protecting the fucking boxers. What kind of fans are in our sport? What the fuck? You might as well go to kindergarten. Go fucking open a kindergarten fucking boxing event, bro. What the fuck is this? I've never heard of fans like that, bro. And it's grown fucking men. And it's not like, it's like loads of these guys. They totally are happy to protect Deontay Wilder from their bullshit. Protect Tank Davis from fighting real serious fights. I've never heard of this shit. And we got to cook on this. I'm going to be exposing these kind of fans. And that's why I'm in boxing. Boxing's a tough, hard, soul, grit. You put your soul into this sport. You fight for your legacy. You fight for your family. You fight for your fans. You don't just fight for your bank accounts and your fans are jumping up and down. Yeah, my fighter earns more money. My fighter earns more money. My fighter earns millions. Bro, this sounds pathetic, but it's the truth. This is really happening. Kendall in the building. What's happening, Kendall? We got Eliza in the building. We got EDP in the building. We've got Akeem in the building. What's happening, Akeem? I hope things are good with you guys. Look, we got Alex H in the building. My boy Alex H. You know what I mean? But look, at the end of the day, let's keep the shit real and let's keep it honest. We got Chad in the building. At the end of the day, look, Eliza says instead of growing his nostrils, he should grow his hair like Don King. I didn't buy that Tank pay-per-view. I get it. We got Gavin Chili Recipes in the building. My brother from the other side of the pond. Yes, Gavin, how you been? But look, at the end of the day, let's keep it honest and let's keep it logical. When have we had fans which are worried about bank accounts? Think about this. When have we had fans that don't want to see the biggest fights? I've never seen this in my lifetime. The Tank Davis fans are another delusional fans that I'm looking at now. That they are actually hyped up with Tank Davis making fucking money. They just interested in the money and the pay-per-view and they don't want to see the biggest fights. These kind of fans are cursed for my sport. These are cockroaches and this is a disgrace to boxing. This is a mano versus mano sport. People have shed blood, sweat and tears. People have died for my sport. People, this is a warrior sport. But you're more interested in the bank account. Huh? You're more interested in the bank account and the pay-per-view star that the fighter is. I think enough is enough. Your boy Rapstar's coming back. And I'm going to expose this bullshit. I'm not taking this kind of bullshit in my sport. Yeah? Where I see fans trying to keep their fighters and protect their fighters. Protective custody. They're trying to protect these fighters from fighting big fights. I've never heard of it. I haven't. I actually am laughing about it, but I don't want to laugh about it because, you know, this is my sport. I don't feel good about laughing about shit like this too much because it's true. The fans of today are protecting their fighters from the legacy of tomorrow. Think about that. Can you see that kind of fans that are in this sport? They're fucking delusional, bro. It's getting bad. And it's rubbing off on many other fans and other fighters. And the fighters are using those fans. And there's fighters today which are actually using that. And it's really sad, if you ask me. It's a sad situation. A bunch of men acting like women, all up other men money. That's exactly right, Shadow. Shadow, look, I know you love Chris Colbert. I know I love many fighters like Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Josh Taylor. But I've never ever heard you say, or any of these fans, oh, I'm more interested in Chris Colbert getting loads of millions and not fighting fights. Can you imagine how that sounds? Oh, no, I don't want my fighter to fight those fights, bro. He's a pay-per-view star. Fuck those fighters. They're not pay-per-view. They don't make those kind of money. So fuck those fighters, bro. Those fighters, we don't give a fuck about those fighters. We don't care about Josh Taylor. We don't give a fuck about Teofimo Lopez. We don't give a fuck about Shakur Stevenson. We don't give a fuck about Devin Haney. Tank Davis is a pay-per-view star. Tank Davis is pay-per-view. You understand what I'm saying? Tank Davis can do what the fuck he wants. He's a hero. He's a superstar. Tank Davis, man. You don't know, man. I've never heard this shit in my life. You know, this is the kind of shit which is a disgrace for the warriors in our sport. For the warriors that made it. For Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston. The list goes on. George Foreman. Roberto Duran. Sugar Ray Leonard. Marvin Hagler. The fighters that I see put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. You know what I'm saying? Chavez Sr. Salvador Sanchez. These are fighters which were coming for everything. They didn't give a fuck about just fans trying to protect them. A fighter don't give a fuck about that, bro. A fighter's in the fucking sport of boxing to make his legacy. So stop the capping. And I'm going to be exposing this shit all the way from London, England. That all these fans that are coming to fucking protect their fighters, trying to be worried about the money and the bank account. Watch this. You watch the part 2. I'm going to be exposing this shit. These are the worst fans. These are cockroaches in our sport. They're coming in the sport from anywhere. Man, we're not interested in legacy. Well, why the fuck are you in the sport? If you're not interested in the biggest fights in the world, why the fuck are you in my sport? It just doesn't make sense to me. Just think about this, ladies and gentlemen. The more and more, it's actually sad that it's the truth. The truth is, next is going to be another fighter that they're going to want to protect, that they don't want to give you the biggest fights. This is toxic for the sport of boxing. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Rapstar, he's going to be coming back, and I'm coming to cook. Get ready for the part 2 live, coming soon. To all my people, to everybody around the world, this is your guy. Peace out. Rapstar Boxing Knowledge. I'm out of here. God bless you.